Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. So today was, well, it was a better day than what we had the last couple of days at least. So that was good. We have obviously some news stories happening here today. Let's see if my stream's coming in. It is coming through. Okay. So we have some good news stories on the miners. Jane Street obviously bought into a couple of them here. We'll talk about that. We do have some price targets on some miners as well, upgrades for those. And that's basically going to be it here. So we'll just take a look at what happened in the markets today, which obviously we had a good day. Miners were up nicely. They're up nicely after hours right now as well. We'll talk about all that. And then we'll get into Q&A. Okay, so it should be pretty short and sweet. Maybe short and sweet. I mean, we usually go about an hour anyway, so I guess that would be short. All right, but let's get into it here. Nonetheless, not financial advice, as always. For entertainment only, do your own research. Full disclosure below that. And if you would be so kind, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And let's take a look at what's going on here with the markets today. Markets were all up in the green today, which was nice. Dow Jones was up. I think Dow Jones at one point hit a new all-time, was it a new all-time high? No. One of those I thought hit a new all-time high today. But it was up nonetheless here. Nasdaq was up. S&P was also up today. And the Russell was up today as well. So that was nice. Bitcoin was up also nicely today. It closed nicely above the 200 simple day moving average there. We were up $2,530. We closed at $110,116.03. So that was good. We did get to a little bit higher price at that point. We got to a high of 111,000 and change there. So that's looking pretty good here. RSI is looking really good as well right now on the daily. Let's take a look at the weekly really quick as well. That's looking pretty good here as well. I mean, look at the RSI here, where we are right now at least, and where we were just, back here, more or less. We were a much lower price, but at that point we were at 85,000. We have possibly a little bit more room to run here. Will we run right away? Probably not. It'll be a little bit volatile unless, we get a good post from our president on the China tariffs and that is all worked out. And at that point, we'll probably run quite nicely here, but we got to wait for that day to come here. We did get news today that Trump is going to be meeting with President Xi of China on October 30th, I believe, which is like 48 hours before the tariffs go into effect. So hopefully we get some good news out of that. So that'll be next week. We got basically some more days to wait until that. So next week, today, Thursday, basically, we're going to maybe find out from that what happens there. What else happened here? Ethereum was also, actually, on the weekly, it's down. On the daily, it was up a little bit today. It was up just 1.37% there. Miners had a great day today. Bitfarms was up 5.71%. BitDeer was up 1.4%. Kango was up 1.95%. Cypher was up 7.11% there. Had a good day. Cleanspark was up 4.8%. Also a good day. CORZ was up 1.46%. And we are seeing a lot more stories on CORZ and investors wanting the deal with CoreWeave to fall, basically not go through, to not get voted through. We'll see if that happens. A lot of people believe that CORZ has more upside potential being by themselves here. Obviously, that would not be good for CoreWeave there. We'll see how it plays out. That's coming up later on this month as well, I think, for that vote. Hive was up nicely, 3.64%. Hut E was up nicely as well, 4.63%. IREN was up nice. I think it was one of the ones that did the best here today. It was up 7.78% here. Actually, Riot beat them out just a little bit. Mara was up just a little bit, 0.37% there. Riot was up 7.9%. And Wolf was up 2.1% there. The Bitcoin holding companies, MicroStrategy was up 1.46%, a little bit there. Galaxy was up 3.61%. Block was up 3.48%. Coin was up 0.76%. Metaplanet was up 6.57%. Exodus up 3.09%. Nexon was basically flat on the day here. Semler was up 1.02%. Phoenix was flat again. Did they change? I mean, what's going on with that one? That one's been flat for the last 2 days. GameStop was up nicely, 5.07%. Small miners were kind of mixed. Mostly we're in the green here. Any was up 1.83. Argo was up 4.2. DG Power was down 1.13. DMG was up 0.74. Mawson was up 0.81. Canon was up the best out of, Argo was actually up a little bit better. Canon was up 3.23%. Bitcoin ETFs for the miners here had a great day. Thank God for that, because those things were getting hammered as well, and that was a lot of pain in my retirement account there. But BitQ was up 3.66%. BKCH was up 4.47%. DAP was up 3.54%. WGMI was up 5.26%. Love seeing that. The Ethereum holding companies did okay today also. Most of them were up, or all of them actually were up. BMNR was up 2.42%. BitDigital was up 3.62%. BTCS was up a quarter. Game was up 1.61%. And SBET was up 0.48% there. Other companies here. American Bitcoin had a really good day, up 12.47%. This thing has been obviously falling down for quite a while here. So finally got a little bit up as well. Let's see, FIG, Wi-Fi was up 4.41%, Open was up 3.08%, Oracle was up 2.72%, Nibius was up nicely 7.65%, Soluna was up 4.99% there, Backed was up 1.71%, Fermi was down 0.25%. This one continues to slide down there. And I think there was a comment or something posted by the company there that they are still, executing on target and all that stuff there. They're trying to shore up the stock a little bit, I guess, right? Because with it bleeding, it's not good. So they at least put out a press release on that. Now, as far as the miners here after hours right now, let's take a look at those, see how they're doing. And Bitdeer's up 1.47%. Bitfarms is right now pumping. It is. Oh, let's see. It's up 9.24% there on after hours. Cypher is up also. Well, let's see. Up. Well, it was up higher, so it's up 4.96% now. Cleanspark here is up 4. Was it gonna be 4, 3? Where's it gonna end up? A lot of trading here after hours right now. Let it catch up. Probably should have refreshed it. All right, 3.34% right now as it is. CORZ Scientific is up 0.72%. Hive Digital is up 4.1%. Hut 8 is up, let's see here, 2.76%. IREN right now is up. Let's see, this one's got a lot of trading going on after hours too. Well, it's up about 5% here, give or take a little bit. I'm not going to wait for it to finish up loading all the trades that have come in since I last updated it. But we're up. Nah. Come on. Okay, this thing's okay, 5.26% on that one. Mara Holdings is up 1.61%. Riot is up right now 1.56%. TeraWolf is up 4.97%. So we're doing pretty good here after hours right now. So some of the good news stories that we do have here, but first we're going to take a look at Bitcoin here really quick on its return here so far in October, and that is only down 3.04%. So we have roughly, 9 days left of trading here. We'll see if we can squeak out a green month in October. Historically, we've had much better months than what we have had here. In 2022, we had 5.56% here. We were down in 2018, 3.83%, but that was a bear market at that point. 2014 was a bear market also. We were down 12.95%. So surprising that Bitcoin is not acting the way majority of the time it has done so. Kind of interesting there. Bitcoin ETF inflows here for the sector here. We got outflows yesterday of 101 million, even though we had BlackRock buying in 73.6 million here. We got outflows today as well, 87.5 million. We'll see where BlackRock comes in if they can come up above that and give us a possible green here, because we've had a heck of a lot more reds here recently than we've had positives on it. All right, so the good news stories here. This is from Suenes from Hut 8 here. I thought this was interesting here. Morgan Stanley, recent market weakness among time to power stocks is not representative of any fundamental issues. In fact, time to power urgency has risen in our view. Bitcoin to AI stock continue to trade at low EV per watt levels. And I agree with that as well. Basically what they're saying is that these guys, Hut 8, others as well, are still probably undervalued for where they really should be based if you go by EV per watt levels, right? So there's still definitely a heck of a lot more upside potential with these guys. So that's great news there. Morgan Stanley is also seeing that. This is from Mike Alfred here. Breaking. Jane Street has taken a 19.6 million shares, 5% position in Cypher. So that is great news there, right? Jane Street obviously is pretty massive. They've also taken a stake in Bitfarms here, which we're going to report here in a second here. But this is great news. This is obviously why Cypher is pumping after hours as well. And then we'll see Bitfarms here shortly. And then IREN will release its Q1 fiscal year 2026 results on Thursday, November 6th, 2025 Eastern Time, conference call to be held at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Definitely going to be tuning into that one. I want to see, I want to hear them and see the team there talk about their potential going forward. That's going to be a big thing there. I want to see where they're going. Where are they going to be at 23,000 GPUs still by the end of the year? Are they going to be higher than that, or are they targeting to get to like 60,000 GPUs by the end of first quarter, second quarter, whatever it might be of next year there? So definitely looking forward to that. And then here we got Jane Street discloses 5% stake in Cypher, and I already talked about that one here, so sorry, duplicate on that one, but there's another one here. There it is. Jane Street also reports a 5.4% stake in Bitfarms, total purchase of 29.9 million shares, almost under 20 million buy there. Jane Street, I think, was part. I'm not sure if they were part of the convertible notes there that Bitfarms got the $580 some odd million worth. I'm not sure if they were part of that, but they might have been. But that's why we're seeing, obviously, Bitfarms pumping here right now in the after hours. We're also seeing Cypher doing the same thing. And that's lifting up all these other guys here. We'll see if they report on taking a big stake in any of these other companies here, right? So they're seeing it also that these guys have huge potential going forward here, right? That's all great for us going forward here. Is it going to be a smooth sailing? No. It's going to be a bumpy ride along the way, as it always has been with these guys. But in the long run, I still think that there's a lot more upside potential with them, okay? So there's that great news there for Bitfarms as well. And then this IREN update here, another bank from the 7-bank convertible bond syndicates has updated their price target on IREN. This time McGuire updated theirs to 55 or 1022 to $86 here, right? So that's another one that we just saw here recently. We have one for $100 from Cantor as well, so $86, more upside potential to go from there. And then lastly, what we have here is Chardin Capital increases its target from $20 to $30 on October 13th, with analyst James McClear maintaining a buy rating, noting a 50% hike from where we are right now, basically. So great news for those guys as well. Is that where they should be probably valued at? Yeah, I think so, at least right now, without having any AI or anything like that, but just based on their potential and everything else, that's probably where they should be more or less valued between there. Somewhere between $25 and $35, I think, and $30 is actually a pretty good spot there, right in the middle of that. All right, so that's basically all I got for you guys. I mean, not much else is happening with the miners. We're going to be getting, obviously, updates here in about a week and a half or so on production for October. I don't think there's anything else that we can really look at on all the spreadsheets that I have here. We've looked at the shorted already recently. I don't think that's been updated yet. Quarterly, we've done that already in the past. Miner comparison charts. I think this is just on the growth here. That one hasn't been updated yet. Break even, we'll do that when they report quarterly. Monthly, we did that already. Weekly, we did that. Dilution, we did that already. We could take a look at, I guess, enterprise metrics just to see where they kind of stack up right now. But this is all based on current hash rate. And I need to do one of these also for like their megawatts and megawatts potential going forward. What are they being valued on that compared to everybody else, right? So I need to pull in all of that data. What does each of these companies have megawatts available to them right now? And what is their future? And when is that future going to be? So that is something I'm going to be working on this weekend that I want to pull in. But we can at least take a look at where they are being valued right now and their Bitcoin mining prowess or lack thereof, because Bitcoin's not really going up or anything. And these guys are running on AI potential than Bitcoin potential here. But nonetheless, here we can see that Hive is still getting a pretty low valuation there at 47 million per exahash, more or less. Cleanspark's still pretty low at 89 million. Marathon 100 million there. BitTBT 122, Riot 174 million, and then we got three-way tie almost with IREN, Cypher, and Core being above 300 million there, 315, 311, 313. All right, and then we look at future hash rate growth. We can see that Hive is still at 41 million there, so even lower. Based on that, Cleanspark even lower as well at 77 million because they're supposed to be going to 60 exahash here. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to happen here, but they're, I think, targeting that by the end of the year here. Marathon at 80, BitTBT at 94, and then you got Riot at 179, Core 183 million, and then you got Cypher and IREN being valued quite nicely there, 291 and 315 million. So that's kind of where we stack right now. Like I said, we'll include also the megawatts that they have potential, what they're being valued per megawatt right now as it is based on their market cap. So we'll take a look at that coming up next week sometime when I pull all this data in, okay? I got some work to do over the weekend. But yeah, so really no updates in the spreadsheet here, so I'm not going to be updating anything for the Patreon members, but if you want to join and get access to all this lovely charts and data that I have on the miners here, you're more than welcome to do that. Link for that is down in the description. A couple bucks a month helps me out tremendously, and you can see all the spreadsheets that we do have on these guys. It's getting ridiculous on the amount that we have here. May need to trim some of those things that are maybe not as valuable as they were once before. So got some work to do. All right, that is it. Let's get into Q&A here, see what you guys have to say. Obviously, today was a good day. Love it. We need a couple more of those days to bounce back to where we were just a week and a half ago. But let's get into Q&A, see what you guys have to say. As always, if you guys could preface the questions with a question mark or a Q, I would appreciate it. And I'm going to scroll my way up, as always, and work my way down. I'll get to all your guys' questions and comments. It might take me a little while, but I will get through it all. All right, let's start out here. Kaz says, hi, Seb. Looks like retirement might be back on the menu. I think it will be in time. It's still going to be a bumpy ride there. Let's see. Mr. X says, I need to get my popcorn ready. Hope you got your popcorn ready. Let's see. Mr. X says, today was a great day. Many people like me felt max pain yesterday. Yeah, we all definitely felt a lot of pain there yesterday. Anon says, let's go, boys. John, Balls of Steel. Yes, IREN hit. Go, Jane. Cypher hit for Seb. Awesome. Let's see. John says, Seb gave many of us Bitfarms, Cleanspark, Hive, Cypher. Jane is a hedge fund. Yeah, I believe they're a hedge fund. They're correct. Took a 20 million position in Cypher. Yeah, that's great news there. Obviously, we talked about that here in a second. All right. AAQ114 says, or 14, hi Seb, do you think we bottomed out today or we still can go lower? We can still go lower. And that's only because of, well, Trump, I think. Trump has the power to make us go lower if he go, post something that, China tariffs are going to 250%, something like that. That could pump us down lower, but eventually we will pump back up here, I think. All right, John, IREN reports not the 25th. That's wrong. It's, when did we say it was? November 6th, right? Did I say that right? November 6th, yeah. November 6th. So that's coming up at that point. All right, Alim, hello. Do you know what is going on with Bitfarms and Cypher after hours? We talked about that. It's basically because of Jane Street buying in there. Steve, yo, Sebastian, your community sure appreciates you and all your dedicated hard work, especially on the green days. Everybody loves the green days, right? Red days, not so much, but green days is definitely, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate all you guys as well. And gals. Rob, good evening, Sebastian. Good evening to you. Geo Mission. Next time someone says take profits, don't call them a hater. Stock price does not have to stay high. That is correct. Nothing wrong with taking profits. I'm all for it, and I even have recommended to you guys to take profits. I'm in it for a little bit longer term play. But yeah, if you're in profits, I mean, there's no shame in doing that at all. And I will never call anybody a hater for selling, taking profits. Mr. X, my poor hot 8 got hit hard yesterday, and today it didn't even recover as well as IREN. It will give it time. All these guys will definitely recover here, I think. Ro Koala says take profits and retire. At some point, that's going to be the plan there. Not right now, not yet, at least for me. SKY Wolf doesn't go up like IREN, Cypher, Bitfarms. I mean, well, Bitfarms was way undervalued to begin with, so that's why that one's gone up hugely. Cypher has more megawatts potential right now, and same with IREN, right, compared to Wolf. So that's, I think, the reasons are there for those two at least. But Bitfarms was just being down way too much, and it's finally gotten some love here. Jimission, I hope this was a warning shot for anyone who thinks this Bitcoin cycle won't end. That it won't end? I don't think it will end. I mean, the 4-year cycle, I think, are done and over with. I think we'll know in 3 to 6 months if that was the case or not. If Bitcoin's still above 100,000, or maybe even climbing up at that point, we'll know that it's over for the cycles. But for Bitcoin, it's definitely not over. See, Victor C, I heard that Jane Street is known for stock manipulation. Will that suppress the price of the stock? Well, they might have been suppressing it to begin with to keep things down so they could get into these guys, right? So they might not want to do that now. They might want to pump them up and make as much profits as they possibly can here. You got to look at it the other way, but eventually they will do whatever they got to do. Escape. What price targets you see for Applied by end of year? Applied, oh geez. I know Applied, I think they got another deal here. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I thought I read something about it, but yeah, I don't know where they could be. I don't track them as well as I do the other miners, or the other guys, I should say. All right, question here from SK. When do you sell first deal for Bitfarms? So if they announce it, when do I see first deal for Bitfarms? When do I see the first? Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, they might surprise us, and they might have something within the next 6 months, or it might be a little bit later than that. I don't know. Right now, I know that they're trying to build out a site for some megawatts there for AI. When that's going to be ready, I'm not exactly sure. I think they're targeting 2026 sometime. So maybe at that point, they'll get it. All right. Let's see. Dan Golden. IREN moved earnings up to November 6th, boys. Yes, talked about that. That is correct. Aladdin. Looks like BMNR is upcoming at idea of on TP. Top price, or is that TP top price? BMNR, I don't know. I mean, BMNR is obviously an Ethereum holding company there. I love the fact that they're buying it, but I'm not a big fan of those types of companies. So I don't know on that one. SK, when do you plan to trim Cypher? Not anytime soon with the amount of megawatts they have available going forward here. So I don't know. I mean, it'll greatly depend, I think, on the economy overall and if AI can sustain us going up even further. If we continue to see deals happening here, I think they're going to continue to go up here. If we start getting a lull in AI deals or build out or something like that, then that might be a sign to sell at that point. But right now, with the demand and everything else that I'm seeing at least and everybody else, I'm going to be holding on for a little bit longer here. I mean, I could be holding on for another year. Who knows? But we're evaluating things every day here as things progress. All right. John Ingram, but more IREN, Cleanspark, and Cypher on the dip yesterday. That's awesome. Also added some Wolf today. How high do you think Wolf will go end of year? I mean, Wolf has had already a pretty nice run here. It could still definitely go up higher if they get another deal. They obviously got the 3.2 billion convertible or senior notes, I think it is, not a convertible. Where are they at right now? Let's see here. Wolf is at 1288. Let's take a look at the screen here. They're at 1288. I mean, they had a nice bounce yesterday at around $11.75 or something like that. I mean, by the end of the year, they could be closer to 20, 25, maybe even $30, depending on if they report kind of a deal. Right now, it's all going to be based on deals and any kind of news that they are building, out towards more megawatts, more AI, things like that. Would they also be considered going into their own neocloud business as well, kind of like IREN? Who knows, right? All those things will determine how much the stock actually goes up at that point. So it's hard to tell right now, but I definitely think higher. As long as the markets go up higher, they will definitely go up higher as well. All right, let's go back up here. Elizabeth, cheers to you as well. Gary's got a question here. I wonder if those who sold IREN yesterday got back in today. That I don't know. I didn't sell, so I don't know. Okay. SK, what price target you see for HUT by end of year? HUT, okay. I mean, HUT has also had a huge run up here recently. Look at HUT 8. They're at $40.64. I mean, they were at $57 here. So, I mean, they also have in development right now 1.7 gigawatts roughly, I think, that they're planning to build out in 2026 and into 2027 there. And they're building out something in Louisiana, which was at one time rumored, speculated to be built out for Meta there. I'm not sure if that's still the case there. We haven't really heard anything about that. So I don't know. I mean, they could definitely probably get back to where they were at 57, if not go even higher than that. But they need either a deal or something for NeoCloud, something like that, I would think. All right. See, Everton, this sector was all agreed today. Keep the line moving. Absolutely there. Gary, IREN got a 2x ETF IRE. I saw that today as well. I don't know if I'd get into it. It's, more leverage. I don't like too much leverage, though. That's just me, though. Carl, on any big runs, I use 20% stop losses from top only because if they drop 20%, usually going lower. I started buying back Wednesday and Thursday gave me more shares and still have some spare cash. Very nice. Nicely done. Let's see. Dan says, Gary, pal, yes, let the trading games begin. Hopefully to the upside. Let's see here. User, Oracle issued 40 billion bonds for project in Texas and Wisconsin. Yeah, I saw that as well. That's another thing. Is that for OpenAI as well, I think. So that's interesting there. We'll see if Wisconsin goes for it or if they've already got approval for that. I'm not sure. Carl, I modify my stops almost every day in runs. Okay. I mean, that's probably a good way to do it. All right. User, Seb, thank you for showing up every day. Good days and bad days. After the last few days, I didn't even have the motivation to work out and took a deload week. Well, sometimes you need to rest, recoup, right? But you got to stay positive. You got to know what you own, right? So if you have conviction in what you own and you believe that there's more potential going forward, down days, they're going to happen from time to time. Nothing goes up in a straight line. So you just got to remember what you own and, don't get shaken out. It's easy to get shaken out. So I'll just leave it at that. Good XM. Hi, Seb. Hive hired a former BlackRock exec a couple of days. Any thoughts on potential BlackRock backing investing in the future? BlackRock is already probably in there a little bit in the back end when it comes to stock. They might be in there. I'm not sure if they are, but they might be. They've been buying up a bunch of these guys here past year. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, having contacts there definitely helps, depending on how that person left BlackRock. Was it on good terms or bad terms, right? So that'll also depend on those things as well, I think. All right. AJ asks, what's wrong with CORZ today? CORZ, I think, well, I mean, was CoreWeave up today or was it down? If CoreWeave was flat, then CORZ Scientific will be flat as well. But they're getting close to the vote for shareholders to vote on the merger or the acquisition by CoreWeave. We'll see if that gets through. If it doesn't get through, I think at that point the stock may go kind of nuts a little bit here. We'll see. All right, CORZ is going to get screwed if they don't agree to the CoreWeave deal. Well, it's not them agreeing to it; it's shareholders, right? So if shareholders don't vote for it, they're not really screwed out of it. And CORZ might actually benefit from that. Stock may actually go up, and then we'll see. I mean, we'll see. It's going to be interesting to probably witness it, though. All right. AJ, Riot, Mara, or IREN, which one you feel attractive price? Oh, gosh. Riot, Mara, or IREN? Mara, this is obviously not getting the love. Riot has had a nice run up here recently. Riot is actually working. Mara's working on something, too. They're, taking a stake in one company that does data centers in, like, France and in Europe, basically. I don't know, maybe if that was the right call to make there. Maybe not. I don't know. But based on this, I think IREN would be like the top one as far as potential going forward, followed by maybe Riot and Mara at that point. So which one would I get into as far as attractive price right now? I mean, geez, all of these things have come down here. IREN's at $55. I mean, some are saying it's still $85. I mean, it's... Oh, I would say probably get into IREN and then some into like Riot and then Mara. That'd probably be the way I would play it. Not financial advice as always. All right, Gary, CORZ will get more in co-location than they would sell a company at current price. That's probably the case there. I mean, they already have a lot of co-location with CoreWeave, right? Those contracts stay in place. The ones that they have for 10, 15 years, whatever they are, those stay in place even if the deal doesn't go through. So CoreWeave is still going to be in there. There's still going to be a tenant. Unless they break the contracts, in which case they have to pay a bunch of money to it, which might happen also. Who knows? But yeah, they definitely would have, I think, more upside if they stayed by themselves. HB is Jane Street stake, definitely a good thing. I was reading they are market makers and often short positions. They took a stake in Open Door a while ago, and the stock has dropped a lot. Well, depending if they take a short position or if they take a long position on these guys. Right now, they're taking long positions. Well, not really long. I mean, they're buying shares there, right? So that's a good thing, I think. All right. Aladine, what's your view on holding on the BTC miners portfolio for the next 6 months, or any guidance which month to take most of your profits? Basically, need your guidance on your plan for the next 6 months. My plan is to hold on right now, but we'll have to obviously keep an eye on Bitcoin. Where does Bitcoin go? We'll have to keep an eye on the economy, where the miners are going as well. What is their potential going forward? Right? Are we still seeing deals happening for AI data centers? All this stuff. Is the expansion still happening? If all those things are true, then yeah, you might be able to hold on to it. But as always, not financial advice here. The only time I could see things falling even more would be probably in December, towards the end. We've seen a sell-off in things where a lot of the mom and pop shops, hedge funds, others are also locking in their profits for the year, and they're also rotating into other things. They're reallocating or rebalancing their portfolios at that point as well. So that's one thing I would probably look to maybe. I mean, yeah, I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to sell stocks now and have to pay huge gains on what I've made next year, and then worry about having to pay those huge gains in capital to then only buy them back a couple weeks later in the new year. So that doesn't make any sense to me. So I may just, like I said, I'm probably going to be in holding for a while. But, you got to do what's best for you. If you're up huge on these things and it's money changing money, I mean, that's going to be definitely your decision to make there. All right. Fonseca, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. What could be good price target for Canon? To get into Canon, I mean, Canon has, let's see here. Canon's one of the smaller ones, $1.76 here. It did get up to $2.26. I mean, right now I think it's a pretty good price for it. I've said it's been kind of undervalued for a long time here. It's finally caught a little bit of a run here since basically end of September, it looks like. Went up, it came down, went back up, obviously came back down here a little bit. It's been definitely choppy here. But Canon, I mean, they're smaller size when it comes to their Bitcoin self-mining, but they do have a lot of hosting as well for other clients. And they do make their own ASIC chips also. So, I mean, they do have some things happening that are good for them. And I think I've read recently it's something that they're looking to get into AI as well on that. So, I mean, I would have to do more research on it, on that one. But I've talked about that one for a long time here. I know, right? We got to $3.27 in December of last year, and that had a nice rally at that point also. That started, when did that start? In October, end of October, basically. And it ran up. And it's come all the way back down. And it's coming back up here. I don't know. Definitely have to do some due diligence on that one for sure to see what's their megawatt potential going forward. Are they, how much are they getting to AI? What's their targets for their own self-hash rate going forward? All those things have to be taken into account going into it. Also, what's their balance sheet like? Well, we can take a look at that right now. Let's see. Financials as of Q1 earnings. Reported. Let's see, earnings. They had 100 million in reported earnings, 87 prior, 88. So that has actually gone up for them. So that should be good. We'll see where they come in Q3. As far as statements here, let's take a look at their, I want to see cash. Over Q1, let's see here. Total assets have increased. Total liabilities have actually went down. So that's also good news there. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, they're in a pretty good spot right now, I think. Could be better, but it's definitely good. Okay. Talk about that one. Let's see, Gary. CORZ just got a 31 price target selling at half that value is stupid. Well, they made the deal a lot earlier before all the stuff was starting to run, right? All the demand and everything. Well, we had some demand. We knew there was some demand for, but we're just seeing a heck of a lot more of it since they agreed to the deal. So at that time, it seemed like a pretty good deal for them, but now the way that things are getting rated, it doesn't look like a great deal for them. All right, Stephen, Trump may send us stimulus checks, he said, from getting tariffs money so we can then buy Trump coin, spend more money, and then have inflation go up again. I'd rather have him use that money to pay down the doggone debt instead of having it sent to people. I mean, people that really need it, okay, fine. I do not need it, right? I think if you're making over, what is it, $60,000, $80,000 a year or something like that, you probably shouldn't get anything. That's just my take on it, right? Anybody making less than probably $50,000 a year could probably use it. But other than that, everybody else probably should not get it. Use it to pay down the debt. All right, let's see here. Aladdin, Soluna hit hard. Any TP price based on current situation? Target price, any target price? Soluna, I mean, Soluna is still small, right? If we look at them here, let's go back to Soluna here. Let me see. Where are they at? They're down here, down the bottom of the list of all this stuff here. So let's see, take a look at them. Soluna Holdings, as of Q2, had 91 million in total assets, right? 62 million in liabilities. Not the best balance sheet there. Overview, their market cap at that point was like at 30 million or something, I think, when they reported. Now they're up to 229 million, so at least they're being somewhat fairly valued at this point. The big thing for them is going to be what is their growth going forward, right? I mean, they talk about a huge pipeline of megawatts potential, but like I've said before, a pipeline is just a pipe dream unless you actually sign those deals and contracts. And those also cost a lot of money because you have to put down, you know, a lot, sometimes tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars of deposits on those things. So do they have that right now? They got a little bit, you know, if they've been saying maybe some ATM or something like that or something, maybe their cash position has gotten better here. But you can see their earnings, let's see if this pops up here. I mean, reported, they only made 6.16 million for Q2. I mean, not much in revenue there, right? Reported in Q1 was 5.9 million. So very, very small. That's why I said the stock looks more like, to me, like it's being manipulated than anything else here. Because it has had a huge run up here. I mean, it was at 46 cents, basically went up almost, what is it? Almost well, probably 1,000%, and right from here to all the way up to the top here, yeah, it was 1,000%. So it's had a huge run up here on just speculation, I think, more than anything. But maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I mean, you guys fill me in if there's something that I'm missing with Soluna. Let me know on it. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. Okay, what else we got here? All right, Victor. Gene Street does have a stake in Tesla as well, but the price still made all-time highs. Okay, good point there. Very good. Victor, your question is, Bitdeer a good investment? Yes, I believe they are. My only kind of roadblock to them has always been the China ties with them, but they do have a lot of potential. Obviously, they have a lot of megawatts, a lot of sites as well. So I do think it might be a good investment there if you can look past some of the maybe the supposed China ties, right? There's nothing confirmed there on it. So yeah, I would say Bitdeer has a lot of good growth here happening in the next year to 2 years. All right, Amanda F. From the small miners, what's a good buy now from the small miners? I don't know. I don't track them as well as I probably should on those guys. And the reason I stopped tracking them is because they weren't growing as much. I knew that growth was going to be important. I didn't know megawatts were going to be even more important. But, you know, you do this and you learn and you understand what's happening here. So megawatts are hugely important nowadays. And smaller miners don't have that. They also don't have the capital to go out there a lot of times to make these contracts that you would need for these huge megawatt sites. So they're in a little bit of a disadvantage there, I think. But can they still do something? Yeah, they can still definitely do something with the sites they do have. They can maybe turn some of those into AI sites as well. Potential is always there. Okay, I know it's tempting to get into some of the smaller miners because the price, you see the price being, you know, a couple dollars or something like that. You can buy a heck of a lot more shares of it than you could in somebody that is maybe higher priced. Right, and the time to be buying all of these things was probably, well, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, when we dipped really hard in April. And yeah, you would have done pretty well here with pretty much anybody you picked out right now, it looks like. Some have done better than others, but more or less you'd still be up nicely here. Mr. X, I bought the dip yesterday, got some Bitfarms. Did you, Sebastian? I did not know. Like I said, the renovation of the basement is siphoning up all my cash right now that I have extra. And I want to get this done. I want to have an actual, you know, a room here, studio, soundproof a little bit. So things sound a little bit better for you guys and a little bit better quality. But also just to enjoy the basement, you know, have a nice little movie area, pool table, little bar area, just kind of relax a little bit more. I've been going gangbusters here now for a long time. I'm doing the upstairs renovation with the kitchen last year, doing some other things as well. So I want to have the house be done with. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Plus, I invested in all these things I wanted to invest in, you know, in the bear market where they were very, very low. And that was always the kind of plan there to do that and ride the wave up. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now is holding on to what I have and riding the wave up. All right. Let's see, HB question. Bud Cypher today, what do you feel are the main benefits for them compared to other miners? Megawatts, right? They, along with IREN, have some of the most megawatts available to them, at least right now. So I would say that would be the biggest advantage that they have. All right. Shinchi, hello, Seb. Can you please add backed to your Discord topics, please? Yeah, I'll add that back into it. Is it not? Well, I never had it in there, I don't think. So we can add backed in there if you want. But backed, we'll put it under something. I can definitely do that, right? I always take requests from the members there. Whatever you guys want to put in there, we'll put it in. I'll put it in tonight. Let me write this down. Add BKKT to Discord, because I will forget otherwise. As you get older, you start to forget more and more things if they're not written down. That's a life lesson there. Excuse me. All right. Talked about that one. Pitcher all is well, guys. Well, for the time being, it is. We'll see where we are tomorrow. Mr. X, question. How do you handle the volatility in the miner sector on days like yesterday and last Thursday? I felt like I needed to exercise, but my tolerance is getting better. I've been in this since 2017, right? So with Bitcoin, is there anything more volatile than Bitcoin itself is? That has taught me one thing. Buy into things that you have high conviction in and hold on to them for dear life, right? So Bitcoin's one of those things. I got into Bitcoin, like I said, in 2017. I did try outsmarting myself basically and others by trying to trade it. That didn't work out for me. I would have had more Bitcoin at that point than I do now. Lesson learned, right? You learn those kind of types of lessons. And at that point, I said, okay, I'm done. I would have had more Bitcoin than if I wasn't trading it. Let's hold on to this. I think this thing has huge potential going forward here in the next 5, 10, 15 years, whatever it might be. I don't need this cash right now. Let's put this off and see where it goes. So, we saw the volatility happen there. Obviously, we got to, 19,000 in 2017. Fell down to 3,500, went back up in 2021 to 63,000, fell back down to, like 30-some thousand, I think it was at one point. Then went back up to 69,000. And then we fell back down to 13,500. And then we went back up to 100-some odd thousand here. So if you've been in Bitcoin a long time, you develop pretty thick skin around volatility. And as long as you know what you own, that's why I keep saying you got to know what you own at that point. But that's kind of how I deal with it. And also, the other portion of this is if it all goes to crap and I lose everything, okay, I'd be, I don't know if I'd be devastated, be like, okay, the good thing is I still have about 20 odd years of work, right, before I can retire. So the way I look at it is I can still make it up in those years, being much, much, much more conservative in my investment than what it has been right now. So I know I'm taking a huge risk here right now as it is. But I think that is with data, with also doing a lot of due diligence into these things here. So I think that helps also tremendously in being able to sleep at night going, okay, I know that what I own, I know where they're going, I know what's going to happen more or less. It's just, will the market play along basically, right? Will the market still be good? Will the market continue to go up? And if the market does, then everything's going up as well with it. Okay, that's kind of the way I look at it, at least. It's being in this for pretty much almost now 10 years. It's a long time. Your dips get easier as you experience more. They suck regardless, but easier when you're playing with gains than house money. That is absolutely true there. All right, Stephanie, IREN, Riot, and then in that order. I would say, yeah, maybe IREN. I think Riot's been, it's tough between Mara and Riot, but I would say maybe IREN, Riot, and then Mara, at least right now, based on the news that I have on those. And then Stephanie, IREN and CoreWeave. Between those two, I would definitely pick IREN here right now. SK, can we buy and sell IRE like IREN stock? I believe so. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. All right. Stephanie, if the deal falls through, CoreWeave needs to look at Galaxy. They could look at Galaxy. They could also look at Applied Digital because they both have contracts with those guys. So, right, they could do either or there, I think, potentially, to get some data centers for themselves, some infrastructure. Right now, they're pretty much infrastructure light, except for in England. I think they're building or they're leasing a site as well. Stephanie, I think CoreWeave needs to mine, but they don't have available nodes to mine. All theirs are used up mostly by Meta. To mine, CoreWeave needs to mine. I don't think CoreWeave wants to mine. I'm not sure what you mean by Meta, used up by Meta. I'm not sure. Stephanie says, my son works there at Meta? At CoreWeave, okay. So we got insider information here a little bit. Just kidding. I know you probably can't tell you anything there. Mark, didn't BitDeer have very good AI news and update why it's not getting love? It did get love. When that news came out, remember? It was up when everything else was down. So it did get it last week when they announced it. All right, Rob, does Canon stock need to stay above $1 or get delisted? No, yeah. They've already broken above $1, so they're fine there. So that warning period resets for them. If the stock falls below $1 again, then they'll have, probably within a week or a couple of weeks, they'll get a letter from NASDAQ that they need to get the stock above $1, and they have 180 days, I think it is, to do that. And then they can also get an extension for another 90, 180 days. I can't remember what that extension is for, but it takes a long time. It takes almost like a year to get delisted from a stock exchange, or at least the NASDAQ. All right, Carlisle, question, what trading platform are you using? I've used in the past, Robinhood. With that whole it was the whole, GameStop thing, debacle, right? That made me switch over to Webull. I didn't like the fact that they basically just blocked you from being able to sell. You can only buy. I didn't like that, and at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm moving everything over into Webull. So I moved it into Webull. Been using that. I've also used in the past E-Trade, but personally, I like Webull. I'm not getting anything paid for saying this, but I just like Webull because of their ease of use on not only the mobile side of things, but also they give you a desktop app as well. That's easy to use and great and secure. So I've used that now for, what's it been? About 5 years, I think, somewhere around there. Let's see here. Carlos says, amen. Use it to pay down debt. Absolutely. Geo mission. Capital gains on stocks are ridiculous. It's a white knuckle ride to make a profit in these stocks, but they tax you as if your gains were guaranteed. Yeah, I know. Yep. Steven, don't sell these miners. We are in the great sector throughout next year. You see how fast things turned up today. I believe we will see higher highs continue. Of course, with corrections, don't sell. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking also, right? But you got to do what's right for yourself and obviously due diligence as well, right? Don't listen just to people on YouTube or in comments or anything like that. You got to do your own due diligence as well on that. But we do have quite a few people that believe the same thing. Mr. X, Hut 8 got a raise in price target from 26 to 60 yesterday before the market opened and got smashed pretty hard. Is that big money tricking retailers to buy in as they dump? I mean, there's always going to be some manipulation happening there. I don't know if that's going to be the case for it, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's always a possibility there. All right, Stephanie, I read that IREN has 1,400 megawatts compared to CoreWeave's 380. IREN actually has more than that. They have Corsicana, which is that one like 700, 800 megawatts right now? Then they also have Sweetwater 1 and 2. Those combined are 2 gigawatts. And then they have the sites up in Prince George. They got 3 sites up there, I think, if my memory is correct. And those are smaller sites, but those have like another 200, 300 megawatts, maybe even more than that. Here, we can probably pull this up on my cheat sheet here. So let's take a look at this here. So we got IREN here, right? Childress. Sorry, I called the Corsicana. Corsicana is actually Riot's there. So Childress is 750 megawatts. Sweetwater is 1,400 megawatts. IREN, Sweetwater 2 is 600 megawatts. Prince George is 50. Mackenzie is 80. Okay, so and then Canal Flats is 30. Those are in up north here in Canada or over by yonder. Those things are over here. British Columbia. There we go. 1, 2, 3. So those are over there. So that's what we got right now. Sweetwater 1 should be online in 2026, and Sweetwater sometime early 2027, I believe, is the case. But we'll get an update, obviously, from IREN when they report on November 6th for their quarterly results. All right, but that's kind of what we got there. And as far as what CoreWeave has, I don't know what CoreWeave has. I don't know if I have them in here. Let me see. Do I have Core Scientific, Hive, Riot, Hut 8, other facilities here? I'm not sure what else we got here. Hive, Riot, other facilities. Let's see if I got CoreWeave. I do not have CoreWeave in my list here. So yeah, if they only got, you might be right. They may only have 300 some odd megawatts. All right, Garrett. Question, any prediction on which miner gets back to a 52-week high first after the 2-week dip? Oh gosh, I don't know. My guess would be probably on IREN. I think maybe IREN gets back there first. If not, some of the other guys, Cypher, Bitfarms, those guys aren't too far off. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care as long as they get there. Who does it? Doesn't matter to me. Victor, which miner has the highest probability to go into NeoCloud? IREN right now is in that direction, obviously. Then we have Cypher talking about it. We got also Cleanspark talking about it. And who else there? Others are, I think, looking at it as well. But we'll see. It's going to be a race for sure. All right. Steven says, I don't like BitDeer price movements. Watch its movements. I sold mine. I sense a lot of manipulation with this stock. Applied is good to get and also will be going up much higher. I think Applied will be going up much higher as well. And then bit here, I don't really watch the price action. I look at more on the fundamentals of the business. What's their megawatts going to be going into 2026, 2027? I think there's a lot of potential there, which then should move the stock up as well. All right. Gary says, please add IRE as well to the Discord. Is that what you're talking about, Gary, there? IRE to Discord, I think. Let me know if that's the case. Achi, hey Seb, what do you think dollar price target for Riot, Cleanspark, and Mara would be at BTC 150,000? We'll help them out, but they're more running on AI potential than they are running on Bitcoin price right now. Because one, we've seen obviously Bitcoin go down quite a bit, and the miners still stayed up relatively high here, and Bitcoin has been kind of flat here, and the miners have done tremendously well here. So I think Bitcoin going to 150,000 will definitely help. CleanSpark will help. IREN for sure. Others also that are still mining because they're going to be generating more revenue, which that revenue can be then used to get more into AI data centers as well. So it's kind of like a little flywheel there. Bitcoin goes up, they can use that those proceeds from that to build out more. But as far as the price of those guys here, I mean, Riot at 150,000. Geez, I mean that's basically 50% from where we are right now, roughly, more or less. Of an increase, we could see them definitely getting up at least, somewhere in that amount as well, 50 to 100%, I would think, higher from where we are right now, if Bitcoin's running up as well. All right. Let's see. Gary Powell says Bitcoin volatility is low this year, lower than most AI stocks. That is a big change in this cycle from last cycle. That's what I've been saying also, right? That's one of the things I've been seeing here, not only just this year, but also last year as well. And then the simple fact that we got to a new high in Bitcoin price before the halving event. That's never happened before in all those years in the past. And so we got institutions, we got the ETFs. It's a different cycle altogether. All right. William, hi Sebastian, would like your thoughts on Kadena ceasing operations and how miners would be impacted. Kadena. One, I don't know what Kadena does. I'm guessing they're a miner. Kadena stops BTC mining. Let me see if there's anything news on that. Kadena news. Kadena Foundation said it will cease all business operations and dissolve due to market conditions and inability to sustain development. What does Kadena do? Kadena shuts down as KDA token plummets. Kadena, let's see here. Let's pull this up. Let's see here. Okay, so Kadena shuts down operations as KDA token plummets. Halts all operations leaving blockchain to run without central support. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen there. Kadena ceases operations amid harsh market environment. Okay. Crashes following a shutdown announcement. Yeah, I mean, probably going to go to zero, I'm guessing, at that point, unless somebody takes it over. I was thinking, wasn't it Caspa that Mara was mining? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Right, Mara was, I thought it was Caspa. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. For some reason, that came to my mind for some reason. So correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I thought they were also mining just a little bit of a different coin there other than Bitcoin. But yeah, not sure. That's why I don't get into these altcoins and things like that, because you just never know with these things. Rob, let's all buy into Hive near the last 3 minutes of the day for the next 3 days to pump it up. Okay. Martin, why has IREN moved up the earnings call? Franz Baker and BMG speculating there may be an NVIDIA deal. Might be. What happened last time? Didn't they move it up a little bit last time? Or was that the Cypher did that, I think, right? Cypher did that or something like that? So yeah, there might be something happening there with that. Gary, easy for Corby to buy a site. Hard part is getting someone to sell it for half its value. That's true too. Midterm Horizon, PGW, let's see here. Midterm Horizon, Bitfarms, or Hive. Gosh, I would say both if you can. They both have different advantages and things like that, but I would say probably more Bitfarms. I think Bitfarms being in the United States has a more positive impact than Hive. Hive does not have any operations in the United States other than an office for reporting purposes. Okay, Morton says, correction, not NVIDIA, but deal, but perhaps NVIDIA may invest in them. Who knows? I mean, I'd be happy if they get a deal and then NVIDIA invests in them as well, right? All right, Megan, what's your expectation on Cleanspark by end of 2025 as it is pivoting to AI? Any thoughts? I think it's going to go up higher here. I think it should be somewhere around, $25 to $35 by the end of the year. Might be even higher than that if they have good news for us on how are they progressing with the AI side of things. Okay, and I think Cleanspark's numbers are going to be for the quarterly results are going to be later in November. I think because this is, I think, their last quarter. Q4 for them was in RQ3, I think. Let's take a look at that really quick as well to see if that's the case. I think from memory that was the case. Cleanspark, let's see here on their sheet, Q3, yeah. So it's going to be their Q4, so those numbers have to be audited. So that was going to be delayed possibly till mid to late November, I'm guessing, for them. Because it's always takes a little bit longer to report the fiscal year-end numbers for the companies. All right. Talk about that. A Perfecte question: what is your guess for BTC price end of year? Has it changed? I mean, I was still thinking 150 to 180,000 here, but I mean, 150,000 might be doable. 40,000 here in the next couple months could be doable, right? We get a couple good weeks, but it looks like now it might be like 130 to 150,000 instead of 150 to 180,000, which would still be okay. All right. Let's see, Gary, IRE to ETF category in daily update at start of show, please. I'll have to look at what IRE is. Is that the 2X? That's the IREN 2X, right? All right. Alexander, question. I'm late to the stream. Not sure if you said what the price point for you to start selling Cypher. Cheers. I mean, there's no price point. It's just based on the growth happening for the companies. So, I mean, we could say, price point's going to be $100 for it. It could get to $100 and still continue to go up because they are just continuing to build out and growing more. So it's based on growth and the economy and everything else. It's not a certain price point, because when you do a certain price point, you do kind of limit yourself for even more upside at that point. I mean, you could probably take a little bit off if you wanted to, and that's probably maybe a smart thing to do, just do dollar cost average out a little bit. But you got to look at it maybe a little bit different way there, maybe. All right, user, I think I read somewhere IREN confirmed the proposed BC law regarding power for miners would only be for, yes, that is true. That is also what I've heard. Rob, hey Seb, take a study of the RSI curve. It's not a perfect, but we are bouncing up again. Okay, nice for Hive. Okay, good. Geez, what's going on with Mara? Good question there. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know, right? Sometimes their operations are great on a month. Sometimes they're really bad. They've got their hands in maybe too many things, too many cookie jars, instead of concentrating on a couple things. I don't know if that's the reason for it. I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, they were the queen of 2021 cycle. Right now, they're the wicked stepsister. This time around, it looks like. Okay. And then Kyle here. Do you think the CORZ deal gets voted down, and how high? If so, will the stock pop? They are way undervalued compared to Cypher and Wolf. I mean, I think if we would probably have to value them based on the megawatts, right, that they have. The only thing is that a lot of their megawatts were already kind of locked in through CoreWeave with their lease agreement for, or co-location agreement for the next 10, 15 years, whatever it is. So the revenue's kind of locked in there. It's kind of capped a little bit. So then it would depend on the remainder of the megawatts that they have available to see how much they could actually get for that. Now, whether the deal gets through, I don't know. I mean, there's probably quite a few institutions that are invested in both CORZ and CoreWeave. And with CoreWeave getting, CoreWeave needs sites here. So there might be some that might think that might be better for CoreWeave to take them over. So then CoreWeave can run up higher for them potentially. I don't know. I mean, right. I don't know. I give it right now a 50-50 chance, one way or the other. I really don't know which way it's going to go, unfortunately. All right. Do you believe money from gold and silver will flow into Bitcoin if gold and silver price decline? Yeah, I think so. I think some of that, we've seen that in the past as well, or at least Bitcoin catches up to them, right? We've seen where gold spikes ahead of Bitcoin at times. And then you also have to take a look at the money supply, the M2 and the global part of it. And you can see that the M2 supply is still going up, meaning that money will eventually flow back into Bitcoin, or partially flow into Bitcoin as well, raising that up as well. All right. All right. So that is it. So we'll call it a day. I think I've come to all your guys' questions I have. We'll call it a day here. Really appreciate you guys coming in as always. We'll cover whatever happens tomorrow on Friday. And then, yeah, we'll see. Today was a nice day. Today was good to get that out after having a pretty rough week here. So we'll take all the green we can get. And I think the best is yet still ahead of us. It's just going to be a bumpy ride along the way. Right? So make sure you have a nice soft cushion and hamper on down, and we'll be good in the next couple months. But that is it. Love you all. Hope you guys have a great Friday. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you got nice weather wherever you are and you're able to enjoy it. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Until then,